There is a moment coming up when something so big will happen that it will completely change the way people live. This event isn't a figure of speech. The story is not a metaphor. It is a real quantum mechanical divergence that splits the world into two completely different realities. Imagine that two separate versions of Earth, or frequencies of life, are breaking apart from each other so completely that people who stay on one path will no longer be able to tell the difference between people who have switched to the other. This message was brought to your attention by an unknown force, and if you can feel a current of recognition and a spark of truth moving through your body, then you are being prepared. You are being prepared to be chosen as one of the 1% of souls who will experience the quantum shift that will change everything we know. You won't find this in a New Age book. This is not an old religious prophecy that has been changed to fit our time. What you are seeing is where the deepest truths of quantum physics meet the oldest spiritual knowledge. They're both talking about the same thing, but in different languages. Mystics and sages used to call it ascension, and quantum physicists today call it quantum bifurcation. Both terms mean the same thing. This is the point at which consciousness reaches a certain frequency threshold, a level of vibration that is too high for it to stay in this world. It must now change, taking a quantum leap into a higher dimensional expression of itself. And that line, that tipping point, is coming closer and closer with mathematical accuracy, whether you are aware of it or not. Do you feel it in your bones? That weird sense that time is moving faster and that reality is changing and becoming less stable. Have you noticed that little miracles, synchronicities, and things that don't seem possible are starting to happen with a shocking and wonderful frequency? That's not just something in your head. That's the quantum field itself starting to become less stable in order to get ready for a big change. It's like watching a pot of water get close to boiling. As the molecules vibrate faster and faster, a soft hum turns into a strong shaking sound, and all of a sudden, there is a quantum leap. Phase transition. The liquid changes into vapor, which is a complete shift in state. We are getting close to the point where our Earth, or collective consciousness, will boil over. And when the big change finally comes, only people whose consciousness has reached a matching frequency or resonant vibration will be able to go through it with it. Being in the top 1% doesn't mean you were chosen by some outside force or God. For this reward, you don't have to do spiritual things or good things. One thing: your frequency is the only thing that determines the 1%. It has to do with whether or not your consciousness, which is the core of who you are, has reached the vibrational resonance that is compatible with the new Earth that is coming into existence. You're not trying to get picked. Whether you are already vibrating at the right frequency or not is up to you. Of course, the fact that you are here and that these words are striking a chord in your heart that goes beyond intellectual understanding is a sign. It means that your frequency has already been marked. Your soul is already making waves. You are already one of the 1% who are getting ready for what's to come. This truth should be felt in your heart, not your mind. If it is, I want you to do something very simple but very powerful. Write only one word in the comments right now: awake. This is more than just leaving a comment. It's a strong anchor. Now that you live in a different world, you are raising a flag to show your mind and the universe that you are aware and ready for what awaits. Before we go into more detail about what this quantum split is and how you can make sure you are anchored in the frequency of the new Earth, it is important to know why this event is so important. Why can't our collective consciousness just grow as we move through the vibrations of our planet? Why does Earth have to split into two separate streams of reality instead of everyone shifting together? As soon as you understand the quantum necessity of this separation and the deep mechanics at work beneath the myths and prophecies, you will stop fighting what is happening. You will be able to let go of your fear and confusion and start to align with the frequency that is calling you home. The frequency that makes you ready for this beautiful change. Frequency incompatibility is the first reason for this split. Consciousness exists at particular vibrational frequencies, just like everything else in the universe. Think of it like radio stations that send signals through the air. You can only hear the music from the station that you are tuned into because each one has its own frequency. For the same reason, different people have different levels of consciousness, and we can only see reality that matches our inner vibration. At this very moment, the Earth's base frequency, or heartbeat, is rising at a very fast rate. This is something that scientists can measure with things like the Schumann resonance. For people whose consciousness isn't rising in sync with the planet, this speeding up makes their lives feel more and more distorted, broken up, and chaotic. This isn't a punishment. A frequency mismatch is just the way quantum mechanics works. When you play a beautiful piece of music on a guitar string that isn't tuned to the right note, it sounds terrible. It would be loud, jumbled, and hard to understand. That is exactly what is happening to people whose minds are stuck in the dense, heavy patterns of the third dimension. Even though the frequency of the planet is moving faster towards a fifth-dimensional expression. They're not bad, wrong, or not good enough. They're just not in tune with the new Earth's music. Since this frequency gap is getting bigger, the only way for everyone to have a consistent experience is for them to be separated. Souls whose consciousness matches each vibrational band will live in two separate realities that work at two different frequencies. The second reason is that people have free will and can choose. In its infinite wisdom and kindness, the universe never forces a soul to evolve. Consciousness can always choose which way it wants to expand, which frequency it wants to live in, and which reality it wants to experience. There are souls that are ready to take this quantum leap into a higher level of awareness. They've been getting ready for this for a very long time. Different souls, on the other hand, need more time to finish learning in the third dimension. There is no right or wrong way to go. Both are just different ways to evolve. By dividing Earth into two separate timelines, the bifurcation of the planet honors both of these decisions. For those who need and want it, one timeline will keep the third-dimensional experience going. For those who are ready, the other timeline will offer a new fifth-dimensional experience. Because of the frequency of the consciousness that sees it, the same planet and the same event can appear in two different realities at the same time. Cosmic cycles are the third explanation. The things that are happening in the world are not just happening for no reason. It is a precise astronomical and quantum mechanical event that happens at set, observable times during the big cycles of galactic evolution. Earth is now ending a huge cycle that has been going on for 26,000 years. In the past, this cycle was called the Great Year, or the precession of the equinoxes. How much high-frequency cosmic light and quantum information gets to Earth's surface is controlled by this cycle. A huge wave of higher-frequency light floods the Earth at the very end of this cycle. It acts as a catalyst that forces everything to either change or disappear. Plants that can't handle this extra light will die. Certain animal species will die out if they can't change. And for people whose minds can't handle this flood of higher frequency information, it will feel like their world is falling apart. There is a crisis, and there is a period of chaos. This energy can be a deep awakening, a powerful activation, and a beautiful ascension into a new way of being for those who can integrate it and open their hearts to receive it. A question of dimensional physics gives us the fourth reason. People have lived in the third dimension for thousands of years. It is a place with dense matter, linear time, and a clear separation of cause and effect. We are moving towards the fifth dimension, which has waves of light and matter, non-linear time where the past, present, and future all exist at the same time, and simultaneous causation where thought and reality are closely connected. There is no way for a single consciousness to experience both of these dimensions at the same time without breaking up. As the Earth moves from a third-dimensional frequency band to a fifth-dimensional frequency band, each soul has to decide which dimension it will mostly live in. People who are deeply attached to dense matter, linear time, and the idea that they have a separate self will naturally move towards the timeline that keeps the third-dimensional world going. On the other hand, people who have realized that consciousness is fluid, time is malleable, and the separate self is just a pretty illusion will move into the fifth-dimensional timeline with ease and naturally. The split isn't a verdict, it's just how things work in the real world. Collective resonance is the fifth and final factor. The collective consciousness of all the beings that live in this world helps to make it what it is. They must be in vibrational alignment for the new quantum Earth to fully come into being and for all the amazing possibilities of the fifth dimension to come true. The law of resonance says that if you put third-dimensional consciousness into a fifth-dimensional world, the lower frequency would always pull down the higher frequency. This would stop our highest quantum potential from fully and gloriously coming into being. When realities, like the 3D Earth and the 5D Earth, are split up into frequency-matched groups, each can fully express its own natural potential without being slowed down by vibrations that don't work with it. But here's the most important part, the part that most lessons on this subject leave out. There is no set path to becoming a member of the 1%. It depends on your frequency at all times. You might be vibrating with the 1% right now, but you could suddenly drop out of that frequency because of deep fear, a wave of doubt, or an unconscious choice to hold on to the familiar but falling apart patterns of the third dimension. On the other hand, you might feel like you're not yet in the top 1%, but in the blink of an eye, you could move into that frequency. This can happen when you have a profound realization, when you are in alignment with your heart, or when you make the brave choice to let go of what is ending and welcome what is beginning. The selection is going on all the time, every second. It depends on the frequency you are putting out, not the frequency you think you are putting out or hope to putting out someday. This message is important because of this. That's why these words got to you. This is why your consciousness was drawn here at this very moment in the history of both you and our planet. You are being given quantum information that is meant to help you deeply understand what is going on beneath the chaos, fear, and seeming randomness of a world that is falling apart. It's a breakthrough that looks like a breakdown. What seems like the end is actually the start of something new. What we see as chaos is actually a deep reorganization at the quantum level that is getting us all ready for the split that is already happening in ways that most people can't even imagine. There are certain, undeniable signs that show you are already in the top 1%. Your consciousness has reached the frequency threshold necessary to move to quantum Earth, as demonstrated by these signs. You don't have to work hard to get these signs. These things just happen on their own as your awareness starts to rise and connect with the fifth-dimensional frequency band. A powerful way to keep your frequency stable is to recognize these signals and believe what they are telling you. It helps you stay rooted in the vibration that makes sure you will move with the shift of the planets instead of staying in the third-dimensional world that is falling apart. Timeline fluidity is the first indication. The past is starting to feel more malleable or changing in your presence. Some people may have very clear memories of events that you don't, or you may remember things for which there is no longer any physical proof. Neither a bad memory nor a sign of mental illness are to blame for this. There are now multiple timelines where your consciousness is present at the same time, as the quantum split gets ready to finish. You are already flickering between different dimensional frequencies. This is the beginning of a beautiful change that will last forever when the planetary bifurcation reaches its final point. This is the second signal: reality customization. Your personal reality is becoming more and more distinct from the consensus reality all around you. Things that other people think are impossible are happening with natural ease for you. Almost every day, it seems like coincidences that defy all statistical probability are happening. The old physics rules that seem to hold everyone else back no longer seem to hold you back with the same rigidity. This is because, at least in part, you are already starting to use the physics of the fifth dimension. In this world, consciousness affects matter directly and instantly. Your intention breaks down probability waves, and what you focus on comes to life incredibly quickly, because there is almost no time between your thought and its physical form. There is dimensional bleed-through in the third signal. You are beginning to hear, see, or feel things that the normal third-dimensional eye can't see. You might see geometric patterns of light on top of real things. Light codes may be visible in the sky, around people, or in nature. Beings or energies that live in adjacent dimensions might feel like they are nearby. It's a subtle awareness that's on the edge of what you can see. No, this is not a hallucination or some other kind of spiritual illusion. This is the bandwidth of your consciousness growing, which lets you see frequency ranges that have always been there, but were hidden from you when your awareness was stuck in the third dimension. The fourth signal is the activation of soul memory. You are getting a lot of information and a deep understanding of who you really are, beyond this life. It's coming to the surface memories and feelings about why you chose to come into this world at this time, and what your soul's true mission is. This deep knowing doesn't come from books or outside teachers. It is coming from deep inside you, from your direct connection to the quantum information field, where all of your soul's experiences from all lifetimes and dimensions happen at the same time. You are remembering because you are getting closer to the frequency where both your soul memory and the universal consciousness memory are fully accessible. The veil of forgetfulness that most humans experience in the third dimension is no longer blocking your way. You can feel a lot more energy when you receive the fifth signal. Feelings of other people are as real to you as if they were your own. Before you even walk into a room or place, you can feel its frequency. Whether a person, a situation, or a choice is in line with your highest good is clear to you right away. This isn't about getting better at psychic things. This happens naturally when you are aware of the fifth dimension and know that everything is energy first and form second. This means that you are seeing the quantum field itself, not just the physical world that forms after the quantum waves have collapsed into a solid shape. The sixth sign is a major change in the way you relate to other people. Your longtime friends and family may seem like strangers all of a sudden. The connection doesn't feel right, and it's impossible to connect on a real, heartfelt level. It's not that you or they have changed as people. It's just that you are now vibrating at different frequencies, and frequency determines who you can and cannot connect with. On the other hand, new people are coming into your life and making you feel right at home, like you've known them forever. even though you just met. This is how frequency matching works. The 1% is being brought together into clusters of resonance by the new quantum Earth. This is getting us ready for the full transition by connecting us with our true soul family. You are being told to find your people if you feel this way. There is more than just a video being sent when you share this transmission. You are sending out a frequency beacon into the quantum field. This is a signal that helps you connect with other people in your soul tribe who are vibrating at the same frequency as you. Now send this to someone you think needs to hear it, and trust that this act of resonance will make the energetic grid that is bringing the 1% together stronger. The 7th sign is a strong pull towards something you can't quite put your finger on. There is a deep knowing inside you that you are meant to be a part of something big, something that will truly change the way the world works. Even though you might not be able to explain it, you know for sure that you were not born into this world to live a normal life, follow the normal path, and do what everyone else does. You are not fooled by your ego when you feel that deep knowing. It's your soul realizing the quantum event it agreed to be a part of long before you took on this body. That's it for the 8th signal. You are here. You are reading these words and feeling something deeper than agreeing or disagreeing with them. You recognize yourself in what is being said, not as something new you are learning, but as something old you are finally remembering. The quantum field doesn't send its messages at random. If you found this message and are still reading it, or if something real and electric is moving through you right now, you are already one of the 1% being set up for this big change. It doesn't matter if you fully understand what this means in your mind or not. Please hold on for a moment now that you've heard these marks. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and connect with your own experience. In how many of these ways does each sign light up your life? This recognition is very important. Feel free to say it for sure in the comments right now. Write down, "I am experiencing number signals." This act of declaration makes you more aware. It tells the quantum field that you are no longer ignoring these amazing events as mere coincidences, but rather that you see them as proof of your own magnificent shift. Take a moment to understand this. Write down how many of these signals you are getting in the comments. Just the number, 3, 6, or all 8 signals. On a quantum level, this act of acknowledgement is very powerful. The frequency is locked in, assures that the activation worked. It makes it clear to your consciousness and the quantum field that you are aware of what is going on. You are ready for what's going to happen. Of course, you're ready to let go of everything that isn't in line with your vibration so that you can move into the 5th dimension with the Earth. It's time to really understand what quantum Earth is now, that you know what the signals are that are awakening inside you. You have to be ready to lovingly let go of everything you think you know about the world, our planet, and matter itself in order to do this. Because quantum Earth isn't a new world you visit or a planet far away in the universe. This planet is known as quantum Earth. This beautiful sphere is still in the same place in space, but it is vibrating at different speeds at the same time. In all seriousness, most people can only hear the frequency band that matches their own level of consciousness. Our planet is changing its dominant frequency into a higher band that most people can't hear right now. And this is what is about to happen and is already happening. Once this is done, they will be in a quantum reality version of Earth that looks like the planet they have always known but is actually very different. This is like an old TV. There is only one screen, but hundreds of channels that are sent out on different frequencies. You can only watch the channel that's currently selected. The drama on Channel 3 and the nature documentary on Channel 103 are both being viewed on the same physical screen, but they are experiencing two very different realities. This is what's going on with Earth. Earth in 3 dimensions is like channel 3, and quantum Earth in 5 dimensions is like channel 5. They are both happening at the same time in the same space, but their frequencies of experience are very different. At the moment, most people are stuck on channel 3. The top 1% have found the remote and are learning how to watch channel 5. Individuals on these various channels will no longer be able to perceive each other once the great bifurcation is over, even if they are in the same physical location in space. Quantum physics has already shown that this is not only possible, but also the way things really are. Hugh Everett was the first physicist to come up with the many worlds interpretation, which says that every quantum event creates a branching point where reality splits into multiple versions, each with a different possible outcome. Which branch of reality you experience depends on which part of consciousness you are looking at when you collapse into your physical form. The consciousness of all people has been mostly united up until this point in history. Most of the time, we've been looking at the same branch of reality and making a shared picture of Earth. But now that consciousness is rising and breaking up into different frequency bands, different people are seeing different quantum branches. Even though we live in the same places, we are starting to see and feel different versions of Earth. This is the secret reason why the reality of those around you seems to be getting much worse, more chaotic, and full of fear, while your own reality may be getting a lot better, more magical, and brighter. You're not just seeing the world from different points of view. There are different quantum realities going on around you, but for now they are in the same physical space. On a quantum level, your Earth and their Earth are moving apart. When the split is complete, when the frequencies are so different that even the illusion of a shared reality can't be kept up, the two Earths will become completely separate experiences that can only be reached by a consciousness vibrating at the same frequency. If you've done good things spiritually, fifth-dimensional quantum Earth is not a reward or heaven. It's just Earth going through itself at a much higher frequency. In this reality, the quantum laws that were mysterious and hard to understand in the third dimension are clear, easy to understand, and natural. In this world, matter is seen as consciousness turned into form, and as a result, it is completely malleable thanks to the strength of your own consciousness. In this world, time is seen as a beautiful structure that the mind can move through without following a straight line, rather than a prison that you are locked up in. In this world, the illusion of separation is seen for what it is, and everything is felt as a single, unified field of love that expresses itself in an infinite number of beautiful ways. But this is very important to know. Quantum Earth is not being made in the future. Quantum Earth is already there. It has always been there with us on third-dimensional Earth, but at a frequency that most people couldn't pick up on. The third-dimensional Earth is currently becoming the secondary fading frequency, while quantum Earth is becoming the dominant frequency expression of our planet's consciousness. Changing the main frequency of a radio station is like this. It doesn't go away overnight. Over time, the old frequency gets weaker, harder to tune into, and more full of static until it stops broadcasting completely. After that, only the new, clear frequency will be left. The 1% are just souls whose minds have already begun to tune into this new, beautiful frequency. They can already sense and experience the fifth-dimensional Earth, even though they don't have the words or ideas to explain what's going on. The brave scouts who crossed over first to set the vibrational template that makes it easier for everyone else to follow are the early adopters and frequency pioneers. At this very moment, you are on the edge of these two dimensions. One foot is in the third-dimensional Earth you've known all your life, and the other is in the fifth-dimensional Earth that you are now becoming aware of through coincidences, miracles, and things that shouldn't be possible according to the old rules of reality. Now that you've reached the bifurcation point, you have to decide which Earth to fully inhabit, which frequency to stay in, and which reality you want to dedicate your consciousness to. You don't make this choice with your mind. It is made by letting go of the frequency that makes you feel at home and clinging to the frequency that you are used to, but doesn't feel alive anymore. Feel that pull? That gentle pull towards something you can't see but know in your heart is there? The 1% are being called home by Quantum Earth. That's the fifth-dimensional frequency telling you to let go of everything that is ending and bravely step into what is beginning. Chapter 4. A glimpse into the shift through my own eyes. I had what I can only describe as a spontaneous quantum shift a few years ago. It wasn't a slow awakening or spiritual growth that happened over time. It was like someone changed the channel of my existence without my knowing it. I went from one version of reality to a completely different one in an instant. Everything changed all of a sudden, even though it looked the same at first glance. The physics rules that had guided my whole life stopped making sense. Almost right away, my thoughts started to come true. Time changed into a fluid that could stretch and shrink in amazing ways. Eventually, coincidences happened so often and so perfectly that they stopped being surprising and just became the way my life worked. It was beyond logic for me to know for sure that I wasn't crazy. It felt like I had moved into the frequency of Quantum Earth. What I didn't know at the time was that this shift wasn't just a coincidence. Years of deep inner work had been going on just below the surface of my conscious awareness. I had been letting go of old densities, clearing out subconscious programming, and raising my base frequency until I finally reached a threshold. My consciousness went from being expressed in 3 dimensions to being expressed in 5 dimensions at that very moment. It was like water that gradually heated up until it reached its boiling point and underwent a phase transition, turning into steam so gradually that you almost didn't notice. I was slowly getting hotter with each spiritual practice, each hard experience in life, and each time I chose consciousness over unconsciousness. And when the boiling point of my soul was reached, I didn't just get warmer, I changed completely. After this change, I started to see 2 Earths not as a figure of speech, but as my real, everyday life. As everyone's fear and unconsciousness grew, I could see the third-dimensional Earth, the one most people were still living in, becoming more and more chaotic, dense, and scary. But I was no longer living on that Earth. I was just watching it from a compassionate place on a totally different frequency. Quantum Earth was like synchronicity, miracles, and flow for me. It was a world where things just worked because they were meant to, not because I tried hard. At first, I felt like I was unique, picked, or that my spiritual practice had helped me accomplish something amazing. But when I met other people who had made the same change, and there were a lot more of them than I thought, I realized this wasn't about personal success at all. This was an event on a whole planet. At the quantum level, the Earth was splitting in 2, and souls whose consciousness had reached a matching frequency were automatically moving into her 5th-dimensional form, even if they weren't aware of what was going on. We weren't making Quantum Earth. We were just finding it, tuning into it, and moving into it. The most shocking thing was realizing that people who were still living in the 3rd-dimensional Earth couldn't understand what we were going through. And it got harder and harder for us to understand what they were going through. Not only did we have different points of view, but we also lived in very different worlds. What they were going through was terrible and getting worse. We would look at the same situations and see them as perfect opportunities for growth and change. They would say that things were bad and that people were going to die. We would see an unimaginable amount of light flooding the earth and a mass awakening that was speeding up at an amazing rate. Even though we were looking at the same planet and time in history, we were having completely different experiences because of the frequency of our consciousness. This is real-time footage of the Great Bifurcation. I want you to honor your choice if you can feel this difference in your own life. If you can tune into a lighter, more magical reality, even as the old world seems to get more chaotic. Right now is the time to make it real. Write these words in the comments section below. The new earth is my choice. The Pledge of Allegiance is very strong. It's not a promise of loyalty to a person or a place, but to a frequency. You are intentionally lining up your energy, your attention, and your heart with the beautiful reality you want to live in forever. The things that have happened to you in the last few years are a strong sign of which earth you are most tuned into. It's possible that your life has been getting darker, denser, harder, and less hopeful. This is because the third-dimensional Earth cycle is ending, and your consciousness is still stuck on that frequency. The world seems to be getting more chaotic on the surface, but things have been getting lighter, more magical, more full of possibility, and more synchronistic. This is the start of Quantum Earth, and your consciousness has already started to move into the fifth-dimensional frequency. A hallucination or a delusion is neither of these things. They are both real. They are just different quantum realities that are happening at the same time and can be reached depending on your consciousness frequency. You can answer this very useful question now that you know what Quantum Earth is and how the shift feels. How do you know for sure that you are in the top 1%? By default, your energy falls back into third-dimensional patterns when you try to stay stable in the fifth-dimensional frequency. How can you make the most of this transition instead of seeing it as a chaotic crisis or just sitting back and waiting for it to happen? It's one thing to understand the mechanics. What really determines which Earth you will experience when the bifurcation is over is embodying the frequency. Letting go of density is the first key. People with third-dimensional consciousness have dense emotions, strong beliefs, a strong connection to physical matter as the main reality, and a sense that they are separate from others and that they are fundamentally real. When you are feeling fearful, angry, resentful, or like a victim, you are strengthening the third-dimensional frequency in your energy field. In this case, there is no moral flaw. It's just vibrational mechanics at work. Emotions that are dense are heavy. They have a low frequency and are in 3 dimensions by nature. Consciousness in the 5th dimension can't stay alive when there is constant density. You have to let it go, not by ignoring or pushing it away, but by letting it all out, listening to what it has to say, and then consciously letting it go instead of holding on to it or seeing it as who you are. Getting past linear time is the second key. In the third-dimensional experience, time is seen in a rigid, linear way, with a fixed past that leads to the present and then to the future in a straight line. The 5th dimension is a time that is not linear or spherical. In the eternal now, all moments, past, present, and future, exist at the same time, and your consciousness can access all of them. You reinforce the third-dimensional time structure every time you think about regrets from the past or worries about the future instead of being fully present in your body. Being present sets off the 5th-dimensional frequency. When you are fully in the present moment, the past and future stop being separate places you can't get to and start being resources you can use from the present moment. Having energetic sovereignty is the third key. Third-dimensional consciousness is always looking for approval, knowledge, authority, and permission to be free and happy. Fifth-dimensional consciousness knows that it made its own reality and is its source and authority. You are living in a third-dimensional victim consciousness whenever you give away your power to someone else, like the government, the media, experts, or even a spiritual teacher. Fifth-dimensional sovereignty means putting your trust in your own inner knowing over the voice of someone else. It means realizing that reality is talking back to you, not the other way around. It means being beautiful and fully responsible for your own frequency and experience. Being open to paradox is the fourth key. The mind in the third dimension works in a world of either-or. Either something is true or false, right or wrong, doable or not doable. Fifth-dimensional consciousness works in the magical world of both and, which is where more than one truth can exist at the same time. People don't see paradox as a problem. They see it as natural and beautiful. You block the fifth-dimensional view that sees the unified field where all possibilities exist every time you think that reality has to make perfect sense based on old, strict rules. Learn to accept that reality is messy, mysterious, and many things at once that your mind tells you can't be true. The fifth key is based on frequency instead of form. In the third dimension, decisions are based on outside factors such as logic, practicality, other people's opinions, and what most people think is right. In the fifth dimension, choosing between options is based on internal resonance, which is the feeling, vibration, or frequency you pick up when you think about them. You might feel squished, heavy, and dead when you make the choice that makes the most sense. That choice that doesn't make any sense at all might feel big, light, and full of life. The feeling of expansion leads to fifth-dimensional consciousness. It has faith in the resonance. Sometimes the choice doesn't make sense on the surface, but the frequency tells it what to do. Getting rid of the illusion of separation is the sixth key. Being in the third dimension means that your consciousness sees yourself as a separate person, not connected to other people, nature, or source. Fifth-dimensional consciousness understands the deep truth of oneness. It knows that there is one beautiful field of consciousness that shows itself as many things, and that this beautiful field of consciousness sees itself from an infinite number of points of view. You keep the illusion of separation strong every time you make the lines between you and other even clearer. You feel united in the fifth dimension every time you see someone else as a different version of yourself. This isn't about becoming less unique. It's about realizing that your separate self is just a mask and not who you really are. Getting used to not knowing is the seventh and final key. The mind in the third dimension wants to know, understand, and have all the answers and explanations in one place. Fifth-dimensional consciousness lives in the sacred space of mystery, in the peace of not knowing, and in being okay with a reality that is much bigger than the mind can understand. For every time you think you need to know everything before you can trust or move forward, you are stuck in the 3D mind, giving up what you think you know, trusting what you don't fully understand, and going with your heart's guidance even when it doesn't make sense to your mind, are all things that can activate the fifth-dimensional frequency. These are not things you should only do sometimes. These ways of being either keep the fifth-dimensional frequency stable in your field or boost the third-dimensional frequency. Moment by moment, you are making this choice. The 1% are not the ones who reach spiritual perfection. They are just people who always pick frequency over form, presence over past and future, independence over victimhood, and unity over separation. Most of the time, not perfectly. A lot of the time, but not all the time until the fifth dimensional frequency becomes their home and natural baseline. This channel's videos are all transmissions of this fifth dimensional frequency, which is meant to make your connection to quantum Earth stronger. When you subscribe, you do more than just follow a channel. You choose to keep your mind on this frequency. When you click subscribe, you make a permanent energetic connection to this stream of activation. This tells the universe that you are ready to stay in tune with the vibration of the new Earth as it comes into being. Before you can fully commit to either reality, there is a point in this journey where you have to make a choice. Because this is a quantum choice, you make it with your whole being, not just your mind. It's when you choose which Earth to call home and which frequency to stay in as your permanent base. Giving up anything that isn't in vibrational alignment is part of this choice. To make room for the new, relationships, identities, and safety nets that are based on third-dimensional things must be lovingly let fall away. It is holy to let go of your old self and become who you really are. You're not really losing yourself. You're just taking off the mask you've been wearing. And your life changes when you make that choice and give in to the frequency that feels like home. Being manifests things, not trying to make them happen. Time changes from a straight line to a creative sphere. As the universe keeps talking to you, synchronicities start to happen all the time. You realize that you are not a separate person, but rather a unique expression of the whole unified field. You no longer feel afraid because you know that reality is a shifting reflection of your mind. There is a selection going on today. Not by an outside force choosing who is worthy, but by frequency choosing who is compatible. You are either locked into that beautiful timeline because your consciousness is in tune with the frequency of quantum Earth, or it is not. This message does more than just give information. It starts a process. Right now, quantum information is being put into your field. This is recalibrating your consciousness and moving your baseline frequency into the range that makes you ready for the quantum Earth transition. You don't know anything about the shift. You are going through the shift. The bifurcation is present, not to come. The event is happening right now and is ending as you read these words. You have changed in a way that you can't change back. There has been an activation that can't be undone. The quantum selection didn't happen because of judgment, but because of resonance. The 1% is not a club for only a few people. It's a frequency band. You're in it not because you're special, but because you're ready. There is a reason why your soul shrunk, so that you could be here right now, to help with the change and be an anchor of light for others. Keep an eye on how your reality changes. Feel how relationships change. Pay attention to how your ideas about time and matter change. Right now, quantum Earth is becoming your main experience. The activation is done. It is locked on to a frequency. There are only 1% of people like you. Make one last statement in the comments to finish this activation. Not an explanation, just one strong sentence. I am the 1%. This sentence admits that something happened. It proves that you are safe in the timeline of quantum Earth. It's the last signature on the deal your soul made for this life. Please click the like button on this video as a last act of energetic integration. Think of this simple click as more than just an interaction. Picture yourself pressing an energetic seal on the activation you just got. To confirm your resonance with this new Earth reality, like this video to anchor the quantum frequency of this transmission into your own energy field. And if you feel called to be a light for others, please send this message one more time. Sharing now is putting this fully activated energy out into the quantum field so it can find other souls who are ready to awaken. By doing this, you become a strong force for the shift for everyone. Welcome to Quantum Earth. Welcome to the fifth dimension. Welcome home. Hold on just a moment. You made it this far, which means this message was meant for you. This isn't just luck. It's proof that you are ready for a major change. The universe is giving you a clear signal right now. It's time to move from struggling and chasing to easy receiving and flow. This simple idea can completely change your life. Stop forcing outcomes and start tuning into the natural flow where blessings multiply and show up in every area of your life. By clicking the link below, you are immediately stepping into a positive, high-energy community, a place where you learn the practical steps to stay aligned. You'll get immediate, early access to simple tools and clear teachings that help you see opportunities and resources that are currently hidden from most people. This is your chance to get the direct guidance, unwavering support, and fast progress you need to reach your true potential. Don't let this moment of readiness pass you by. Your breakthrough is just one click away. Join our Ready to Receive community immediately through the exclusive link in the description. This is the simple way to ensure you always get the personalized guidance you need to elevate and empower your life exactly when you need it. If you want to go deeper and master this shift, the link is waiting for you in both the pinned comment and the description. And if you feel like supporting this mission so we can reach more people who are ready, a link to buy me a coffee is there. Your support is always appreciated, but just showing up and focusing your energy is everything. Click the link. Your perfect timing is now.